Hey guys, so in this video I'm gonna do something different and review the new patch with you guys. This is actually quite a huge patch, so it might be a little bit overwhelming for some, which is why I think this will benefit a lot of players who don't like reading a lot or just doesn't really understand how these adjustments will impact the game. Without further ado, let's start right away. So it seems like in this patch, they're gonna put a lot of focus on heroes who rely more on attack speed. According to this build of Correction Sight plus Demon Hunter Sword plus Golden Staff is gonna be better for the early game, but in the late game, the crit build might be better. But I think that might depend if the enemies have a lot of tankiest heroes or not. It says it will allow more playstyle for mages, but I think it will only affect a few of them, such as Zazz, Amon, and maybe Harith. They finally revamped this really popular marksman, but quite underwhelming in high rank games because of our lack of tools for survivability. That's why I think the most important adjustment is her first skill. With the extra shield movement speed and CC immunity, she should be able to survive way better during a fight. And her damage is quite insane in the late game, so if she can survive long enough, she will shred all her enemies. I will most definitely make a video about her next. I think a good build for Nathan now might actually be to combine a new Correction Sight and Feather of Heaven, and of course with the addition of Demon Hunter Sword and Golden Staff. I think he will go nuts with this build. I cannot wait to try all these new changes. It's gonna be really interesting. It's commendable that they are trying to make Layla viable in high rank games, but just as an Abby, she needs a skill that will allow her to survive a little bit better. A pro Moskov has always been quite scary in the late game, but with this buff, now he will have an easier time penetrating anyone. Doesn't matter if he's a female or male hero. Damn, even aliens and fairy creatures won't be safe. I am not really sure about these adjustments. At first it seems like a nerf, but after taking a more in-depth look, it might actually be a small buff. I might have to actually try him in game and see what is his deal. I will say this is definitely a buff. Clint usually have a hard time connecting his ult because of the short range and radius, but after this it should be way easier. If we think about it, it seems like the Nathan build mentioned just a moment ago will also work very well with Zazz now. If his spawn benefits from the attack effect, in theory it should go nuts with this build as well. That's gonna be extremely scary sight to behold, not gonna lie. Sylvana has been a little bit forgotten for a while, so it's nice to see she's being mentioned here and there. Her ult casting speed was a bit slow, so this should ensure a much smoother experience, but not sure why they had to increase its cooldown. I think they should have just kept the same cooldown. I actually think Xavier is back to being a force to be reckoned with. This just screams pre-nerf Xavier again. He will be able to keep spamming his ult to lower all the DPS to less than half HP with just one ult. I have a feeling you'll start seeing him very often in high rank and pro scenes again. They reduced the cast range of Glue's first skill, and I think that's gonna be extremely beneficial. Now he'll be able to reset his skill way more often and should be able to help clear the waves and the jungle camps a lot better. With more rage gains, it seems like Mino might finally be a very solid tank after this. Although she received a nerf in this patch, I don't think it's enough to disqualify her from being a solid marksman. In the right hand, she should still be able to perform pretty well. This buff seems really minimal, so there's not much to talk about it. Are they trying to push Popol and Koopa for the jungler role? Sign me up, I would definitely try that playstyle. Although at the start of this patch, it mentioned that the new item build will benefit Mia, I'm still on the fence on this one, because Mia with the crit build can just pop behind the enemy's backline and instantly erase the enemy's mage and marksman in the blink of an eye. But we'll have to actually try the build in game and see if it's actually better or not. This is pretty straightforward, more damage, more PPU. I will say this is a pretty minimal nerf. She still remains a solid marksman. These notes are not enough to tell. I will need to try him in game and see if he's OP now, way worse, or just the same after this. In a few recent matches, I noticed that Kimi was performing extremely well, so I guess now I know the reason why. Glowing Wound with Kimi is too strong. Soon and too powerful in the same sentence seems quite a bit odd, but perhaps this new item will make this more common. It said that she's too overpowering high rank, but I don't think these adjustments make much difference. Same here, she's still a very solid mage after these adjustments. Yup, Leomord was definitely getting out of control. This nerf will make his ultimate cooldown way longer than ever before. Another understandable nerf, Carmilla was too strong after the recent buff. I haven't been able to try her yet, because she's been banned in every single match, so hopefully after some nerfs, she's not overpowered to the point of being perma-banned. Now his first skill is affected by cooldown, so does that mean that if he has max cooldown reduction, his first skill will almost have no cooldown? No comment. So here's the juicy part, this new tier 2 item, Swift Crossbow, which is the main component for Corrosion Sight and Feather Heaven. For those who don't know what is adaptive damage, it means that it can be either physical or magic damage, depending on the hero's main attributes. This actually seems like a solid buff. The additional 10% attack speed stat is gonna be really beneficial for some heroes like 1-1. Not sure how often a hero reaches attack speed cap. If you know which heroes will benefit from this, let me know in the comment section. Finally, it seems like they fixed the bug that each basic attack didn't actually reduce the cooldown of his unique passive. I think this buff is actually really good for this item. I don't think this adjustment will make much difference, since the heroes who use these items mainly deal magic damage anyway. But probably it was a bit of a nerf for Genius 1 though. I think most of the fighters and tanks will have to include Dominance Ice in their build for sure. A few heroes will benefit quite a bit from this 10% cooldown reduction. Back to the old meta, in which most of the mages had to build Cloud of Destiny and Lightning Truncheon. Rejoice mage players, this is actually a very solid buff. Not being able to hear the sound if you cannot hear the hero might seem like not a big deal, but in reality, this is actually gonna affect the gameplay by a lot, especially for high rank games. Experienced players tend to check around the map and listen to the sound effect of the junglers to know his exact location and see if he's coming to gank your lane. Now it's gonna be a lot easier for the jungler to gank whichever lane during the laning phase. Is this a good thing for the game or not? Only time will tell. As for the rest of the patch, I personally don't think they are that relevant, so I'm not even gonna bother to talk about the rest of them. That's all for this patch notes review. Let me know if you actually enjoy this kind of content as well. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.